quiet on the set. Can we please have quiet on the set?
We want to welcome everybody to Boom Broadcasting right here to the emergency episode of It Stinks. It Stinks airs every Thursday at 10 a.m. right here on Boom Broadcasting. But you see the flag behind me. Strike first. Strike hard. No mercy. The way of the fist and the way of the snake. If you're a fan of Cobra Kai. If you've been sleeping under a rock, Cobra Kai did drop 2 days ago. Talked to the president, the CEO, Michael D. over here on Boom Broadcasting. Said, I could not wait to Thursday. Had to do something right now. Because Cobra Kai Season 6, Part 1, the 3-part series for the grand finale in November 2025, dropped with 5 30-minute episodes. Hats off to Netflix. You don't have to take an entire hour to give us a storyline. You can give us 5 episodes in 30 minutes and make us go back. Wanting more, waiting for more. No need to keep talking about it. Let's jump right into it. As we always say, strap on your seatbelt. Buckle up, baby. It's going to be a long ride, and it is time to talk about Cobra Kai on Netflix. Background origin. Cobra Kai started on YouTube Red. If you're YouTube Red right now, I hope you got some good money off this sale of the show to Netflix. Because right now, this show, since it left YouTube Red, it was good on YouTube Red the first 2 seasons. Netflix bought it, and it's just been killing it every episode. And I just enjoyed it because everybody is just like Riverdale. It's like 13 Reasons Why. Every character in this show, as Professor Evil would say, has a storyline of something they're dealing with, battling with. And it jumps right in episode 1. Johnny starts off, peace in the valley. Cobra Kai's dead. No more fighting each other. We're all one unit. We're all one group, one band of people, one band of misfits, one band of toys on the island of misfit toys. We're all of it. All karate is combined. Great way to open up. As episode 1 was just so good of telling the back end story. Terry Silver's in jail. Johnny's come together. Johnny said if him and Daniel LaRusso can put past their past, if Daniel LaRusso and Chosen could put past their past, then everybody else can do the same. Still wondering where John Kreese is at, but everybody knows he's escaped from prison except those 3. So it goes on to tell the story. We see some good comedy in this. We see that Daniel's wife, she's ready for Chosen to move on. We find out that Chosen kind of suffered from a relapse, went back into drinking because he haven't heard from his girlfriend in Okinawa. His dojo in Okinawa has been shut down. He's pretty much been in America now for, it was supposed to be a 3-month trip that's turned into a 1.5-year trip. So you get some back end story on that. You see that Johnny, Robbie, Miguel's mom, Miguel's grandmother, all are living in the same 2-bedroom apartment with Johnny's daughter, spoiler alert, on the way because Miguel's mom is pregnant with Sensei Johnny's baby. You get all of that back end story and you start to really see a whole lot of things. But right before the end, the last 2 minutes, it fades over back to Japan, where you now see Sensei Kreese lurking in the woods, watching a martial arts studio start to train. Then we go to episode 2. It opens, and I like how they always flash back. So you get that back end story that we didn't get in Karate Kid 3 of Kreese and Silver when they were in the military together. Flashes back to when Kreese and Silver was in the military in Japan, and they started to learn the way of Cobra Kai by being stationed in Japan. See that Kreese really, and the good thing about Cobra Kai is they make Martin Cole show a sensitive side that you didn't see in none of the Karate Kid movies. You see that the young Kim is watching her granddad teach the students Cobra Kai. She was not supposed to be there. She waves at Sensei Kreese. Well, she waves at John Kreese back then. He wasn't Sensei Kreese. He waves back. The sensei sees that, sees her there, and he strikes her with a whip. Sensei Kreese shows that he has heart. And we always said, one person who always got the Kreese was Johnny Lawrence. And they played that on farther down the road. Johnny Lawrence, Terry Silver. Terry Silver was always indebted to John Kreese for what he done when they was in the military together. So you always saw that. But Kreese had a soft spot for Kim. And what does Kreese do? Stops her from getting beat. Gets beat up by her granddad. When her granddaddy gets ready to kick Kreese in the face after laying him on the ground, he's busted wide open, bleeding everywhere. She kicks him in the knee. He turns around and grabs her and holds her by the throat. And asks, "Are you ready for this?" She could have ran scared, but instead of running scared, she says yes. He told her, "You'll start training tomorrow." It fades back into reality. And Mark Coven's just been so good to Sensei Kreese in the Karate Kid movies and in Cobra Kai. Just did an outstanding job with his acting, really being that sinister boss that you just can't get rid of, you can't beat. It goes on, and we start to see things start to kind of go full circle in episode 2. So we find out that Kyler now has left high school. And in high school, he was like the big man on campus. He was the bully. He went from being the bully to going to college to getting bullied. Found out that he's pledging to be in a fraternity, and that's why they're treating him like this. Miguel finds out that Kyler's not going to get in. Kyler, Miguel, Colt, Dimitri, they all get into a big brawl with the frat brothers at the party. No, it's a Cobra Kai without a big brawl. You see that, and you hear a side of Kyler during this episode that you didn't expect to see over the past 5. You see that Kyler is just like Johnny Lawrence. He's a bully, but he had a soft spot. And he told Miguel, "I messed up in high school. I didn't do the things I was supposed to do. This is why I ended up going to this college instead of the college I was supposed to go to. My parents think that I'm worthless, nothing like that, but I'm trying to prove it wrong." And this is the first start. Everybody's going on a redemption tour in Cobra Kai. Then we move over to episode 3. Sensei Kreese, Chosen, Derek, Mr. Miyagi. They all find, well, we'll get back to Kreese. Daniel and Miyagi and his wife find a box in Mr. Miyagi's floor. The box reveals a lot of things. Mr. Miyagi box. Nobody knew that. Found out that Mr. Miyagi violently assaulted somebody and robbed somebody. Nobody knew that. Found out that Mr. Miyagi participated in the Saikai tournament. Daniel didn't know that. And it starts to show that relationship to all these years. Daniel talked about how Mr. Miyagi was such a good person, such a good mentor to him. Is he really the person he said he was, or is it something different? Those questions start to rise. And without Mr. Miyagi being here, because he is dead after the play Mr. Miyagi has passed, it sets up a good storyline of, is he the person we always thought he was, or is it something different? So you get that right there in this story. And you get Kreese, who says, in order for my fighters, watching that episode, Kreese is watching them train. And there's always a troublemaker, a Johnny Lawrence. Kreese knows that this guy has the killer instinct to be the captain for this team, for Cobra Kai. Just he has not tapped into his potential. Kreese does what Kreese does best. Gets in this guy's head and says, if you want to be the best, then you got to go take it sometimes. Quan, who is a student, challenges the top 3 people in his class in a fight that night. Beats him down, rips the patch off. Kim watches this, is horrified that Quan is doing this. She looks at Kreese and he just lights that cigar up, give her that sinister smile and said, I just brought the best out of him. So once again, Kreese is doing what Kreese does best. Then we go to episode 4. So now we're getting to the final 2 episodes. And this is when we start to see the conflict. Johnny Lawrence, Daniel LaRusso starting to show friction, bump heads. They can't determine who's going to be the top 12, the top 6 to go represent Miyagi Dojo in the Saikai tournament. Johnny has his favorites from Eagle Fame. Daniel LaRusso has his favorites from Miyagi Dojo. They can't get together. Daniel LaRusso said it's time to find and get a little bad. So who do they go get? The bad boy of karate, Mike Barnes, comes back to be the guest sensei to help prepare them for the Saikai tournament coming up. And you see a lot of this. Kenny's back, and Kenny went on his own story. Kenny starts off not wanting to have nothing to do with Robbie in episode 1. You see Kenny's brother, Shawn, in episode 1. They get in a big brawl right there with them, and they don't hit Kenny. And it kind of opened up Shawn's eyes to maybe these people, like Robbie said, if you don't want Kenny to end up like me and you, Shawn, he needs to be at Miyagi Dojo. So now fast forward back to episode 4. Kenny's doing good. Mike's really liking Kenny. Devin is not being seen. So, what does Devin do? She tries to do more, and she tells Sensei Lawrence, I can't be seen if you always fight with this guy. You get the big fight with Johnny Lawrence and Mike, summing everything up. The big fight with them right there. And then with that fight, it leads to Mike telling him, getting back into karate last year with you guys, it brought something out of me. And it thought it could bring some closure, but it didn't. Johnny ended up getting the best of Mike. Mike ended up tapping out. But Johnny tells Mike, just like you, I was fighting my own demons too. But I found a way to battle that by helping them. So Mike finally tells them, we'll make it fair. The first 4 get in. Robbie, Miguel, Sam, Tori. He says for the final 2 spots, the bottom 4, Hawk, Dimitri, Kenny, and Devin have to fight for the final 2 spots. He tells them to meet at the park where they used to train at for Cobra Kai. He has 2 flags. He tells them if you want to have the last spot, bring back the flag. This is where the breakdown begins. First 3 episodes, it introduced us back to Cobra Kai. 3rd episode gave us some back-end story on Mr. Miyagi, gave us just a little bit back-end story on how Kreese was able to bring the best out of Quan. But this is where we see friction amongst the ranks with Miyagi Dojo. Hawk finally tells Dimitri, I'm not going to MIT. And Dimitri said, well, we've been talking about this for years, Hawk, since we were little kids playing with blocks together. We always said we wanted to go to MIT to do this. Why are you backing out? Hawk tells Dimitri, when I went to the Valley of the College of the Valley, hung out with Kyler and them, it was kind of fun, and maybe I need to start picking my own battles, picking my own thing, doing my own thing, all my life, Dimitri, you kind of push this on me. I'm my own person. I can make my own decisions. So you get that right there, and so then you find out that Muscles, who has a new name, we won't say his original name on the show because this is a PG-friendly show, but go watch the show and you'll find out his original name. Muscles told everybody, we thought he was juicing because he was putting powder in his water. Daniel LaRusso's son asked him, hey, what did you put in his water? He tells them, hey, all this training, my body's been kind of off whack. My doctor put me on this laxative to kind of help me get my body back on track, get my stomach back on track. Find out that somebody spiked Kenny's water with the laxative powder in it. Kenny takes off running to go find the flag, has the beeline back to the bathroom, has an accident in front of everybody. Daniel LaRusso's son is kind of happy because in the previous episode, early in the episode, Kenny punched him in the face to knock him off the battler's beam and then apologized to him and told him I'm sorry, but Daniel LaRusso's son took it as Kenny took a shot at me, so he's kind of glad this happens. But here's the spoiler. Find out Kenny blames it on Daniel LaRusso's son because Devin comes back with the flag, not having to do nothing. She just got the flag. She come back and asks, hey, Kenny, are you okay? He said, we know who it was. It was Daniel LaRusso's son. Nobody will never believe me. I'm not wanted here. I'm gone. He's embarrassed. He's out here. Find out that Devin was the one that put the laxative in Kenny's water. So that's a back-end story going into the next season. Kenny's gone. Now you got Dimitri and Hawk. First thing Hawk says when he sees Dimitri, why did you pick this paddle? Why didn't you go after Devin and Kenny? Why did you come after me? I wanted both of us to go to Barcelona to compete in the Saitai together. Why did you do this? Dimitri said, just like I wanted both of us to go to MIT and you turned your back on me. But we see a side of Dimitri that we had never seen before in Cobra Kai. All 5 seasons, he's been the underdog who's just taking karate because it's making him more cooler the more he does it. His girlfriend gives him some advice saying, you're not a loser. Go win so you can go to the Saikai tournament. Hulk gets the flag. Demetrius grabs it back. Hulk gets it back. Demetrius kicks him. Hulk does him and knocks Demetrius to the ground. Most of the time he said, hey, sorry about that. Let's go back. Here's the spoiler. I really thought after that Hulk was going to go back and Demetrius was going to submit and just say I couldn't beat him. Demetrius sweeps Hulk, knocks him to the ground, steals the flag, leave Hulk standing there on the ground looking lost, and comes back with the flag. Everybody is shocked. They did not expect Demetrius to come back with the flag. Talk about a friendship end right there, man. That's what Paul Heyman said. That's not a spoiler. That's a prediction. I don't even think that was a prediction because I didn't see it coming. That episode ends that way. Hulk's now eliminated. Daniel goes to Johnny at the end and said, we needed our best 6 fighters to go to the Saikai tournament. Nothing against Dimitri, but we needed Hulk. Now Hulk's been eliminated. So now you have Devin, who we found out cheated to get her spot. Kenny was another one that really wanted him to go to the Saikai tournament. You have Devin, Dimitri, Sam LaRusso, Miguel, Robbie, and Tori. That's the 6. So now we get to the final episode. First thing the final episode opens up with, we found out that Tori's mom, we hadn't heard nothing about Tori's mom this whole season. And we knew that Tori's mom was going through some rehab training in the past season, that Tori was working full-time, doing karate full-time, trying to go to school full-time, taking care of her little sister, and taking care of her mother as her mother had relapsed and gone into rehab. We found all this out. So nothing about her mother during none of this season. Water break. Nothing about her mother during none of this season. Then finally we find out Tori's at the hospital, gets a prescriptions for her mother, say that very properly. Find out that now Tori's mother is doing well. She haven't had a relapse. She was able to cook dinner for the first time in a long time for Tori and her sister. Tori said, it feels like my mother's getting back to her old self, being a mom. Tori gets a prescription. She's walking to her car. Who pulls out of nowhere? He said he had to go back and get his best fighter in the valley, John Kreese. He told Tori, you're my champion. I'm your sensei. No matter who you go with, I will always be your sensei. Sound like what he told Johnny Lawrence, isn't it? When he told Johnny Lawrence, I never thought I'd see the day my best student was playing second fiddle to Daniel LaRusso, little Danny boy. Kreese is just so good. I mean, whoever writes his storyline in Cobra Kai, they do good, and Martin Cove just knocks it out. Tori doesn't want to have nothing to do with John Kreese because she said, I went to jail to visit you, Kreese, and you brushed me off. Kreese knows a little story her like, Tori, I had something bigger planned, didn't want you involved with the kid, involved a lot, didn't want to have you near it. Tori tells her pretty much, get lost, kick rocks, don't have nothing to do with you. Then we find out, for the top 4 students, it only can be 1 male captain and 1 female captain to fight in the finals of the Saikai tournament. Johnny says in order for you guys to get here, you're going to have to fight each other. Miguel versus Robbie. Sam versus Tori. Daniel's a little worried about this because he know all 4 of them, if you go back to season 2, they've been fighting each other all these years. He don't want it to go back to where it was with them. So he says, are you sure about this? They said it's the only way. He asks Robbie and Miguel, can y'all do this and everything be good? Well, we find out that Miguel has been deferred for getting into Stanford. So this Saikai tournament, fighting in the championship on national TV, will help him be able to put that on his resume to maybe boost him into Stanford. As he's training with Sam, he goes to tell Robbie, hey, I need this because I got deferred to Stanford. I'm going to give you my all. And Robbie takes it the wrong way and says, just because you're going to Stanford, I'm not going nowhere? You say I'm a loser, my life is nothing? I said, oh, here we go, Cobra Kai, here we go. They got the grease cooking now. The seeds are getting planted, ladies and gentlemen. The seeds are getting planted. Tori comes home to find that her mom has OD'd and passed out. Get her mom to the hospital. Spoiler alert, they couldn't save her. Tori's spiraling out of control. Robbie's steady calling her. And Robbie is dealing with always being second place. Kind of like Johnny Lawrence in Karate Kid 1. Second place doesn't get you nowhere. What did Nelly say? I am number 1. 2 is not a winner. And 3, nobody remembers. Shout out to my man Nelly for that song. Go check it out. Robbie's dealing with that. He's battling that. I'm always second place. Second place in the first All Valley. Second place in the next All Valley. When is going to be my time to win? Finally, we get to the big match. And Daniel and Johnny are just on rocky paths. Johnny feels like he's training all 4. Daniel's only working with Sam and Miguel, 2 students that he's had for a while. Johnny finds out that Daniel's doing this behind his back, drives the dealership car over there, and he tells him, after this, I'm done. We're done. I'm not working at LaRusso Motor. And funny scene right there where Johnny does the walk out and tells Daniel's brother, you're walking with me, and tells Daniel's wife, oh, you're finally going to admit to him you're leaving him to come work for me. Steal 6 of the cars and we're going to go start a lot. Funny part right there. You know, Cobra Kai always drops those things in. A lot of people didn't like in episode 3 the sleepover. Let me jump to that. Didn't like the sleepover where you had Johnny, Devin, Sam and Tori all staying together at Devin's house, where Johnny was trying to get Sam and Tori to get into a beat to kind of get some fire going back in the dojo. So they didn't like that part. I thought it was good comedy. You know, they do good with spreading those comedic moments where you pull the 80s nostalgia into today's everyday world. They do good with that. So, you know, when Johnny walked on the desk, said, I'm quitting, I'm taking everybody with me. Good job right there. I thought a lot of people didn't like it, but I thought it was funny, if you ask me. So we get to the big fight. Robbie and Miguel one-on-one. Tori's not there to look for Tori. Robbie and Miguel going at it like always. Robbie finally end up beating Miguel. Finally getting that win that he's so badly needed to get him to advance to the next level. No hard feelings. Both of them were cool about it. I really thought we were going to see Miguel spiral out of control. Both of them were very respectable. Tori showed up in the middle of this fight. Tori's fighting for her mom, who just passed. All of this. She's fighting hard. I mean, one time she did a kick after Johnny gave her a point. Daniel Jones said, come on, ref, you got to call it. He said, hey, let him fight. If she does it again, we'll scratch the point. Kind of like Karate Kid 3, Daniel versus the bad boy, Mike Barnes. Finally, the phone rings. Daniel's wife gets a call. Find out the medical center told them that Tori's mom passed. So, they had the LaRussos down as a next of kin for them to keep them informed what was going on with Tori. Because you remember one time Daniel LaRusso's wife in season 5 did some things to pull some strings to help Tori out because she wanted to be with Tori and Sam to end. So when she found out Tori's situation, she was sending groceries, you know, sending money by, things like that. Finds it out. Wants to stop the fight. Daniel finds out what's going on. Told Johnny to stop the fight. Johnny sees so much of him and Tori. He said if she wants to fight, let her fight. They say the fight's got to stop. We can do it another day. Sam says not like this, Tori. We can do it another day. Tori storms off. And I said something's cooking now. So with Tori storming off, she quits the team. Hawk gets her spot. We get to the Saikai tournament. We see all the dojos in there. And we get the one thing we've been waiting on. You have Hawk, Devin, Dimitri, Robbie, Miguel, Sam, Sensei Kreese, Sensei Lawrence. Of course, everybody knows, Johnny, I said it again, Johnny said after this, we're done, LaRusso. I'm done with you forever. This is done. We're ended it. No more partnership. I don't want to work for you, none of that. They look over there and they see 3 kids come in Cobra Kai uniforms. Quan and the 3 guys he beat up. They see Kim. Who walks in behind Kim? Sensei John Kreese. Cobra Kai then reveals the fifth member of the team. No more than the girl who said, "I will always be your student," Tori Wilson. Big one right there to have Tori come be on their team. It ends like that. A lot of people didn't like the ending. Think Cobra Kai knocked it out of the park with this one by having Tori. You just felt when Tori stormed off that she was going to end up being on Sensei Kreese's team. You just knew it. Really thought Kenny was going to be on that team also because Kenny's got a story. So going into part 2 that's coming out, it supposed to came out November 24th, now coming out November 15th, boosted up early because they did so good the past 2 days. A lot of people got some questions. My questions are, where's Kenny? Where does Kenny come into play with this? I just felt like the way Kenny ended at the park that day, getting cheated out of being the Sakai tournament, something's going to happen. Where's Terry Silver? 10 more episodes, Terry Silver has to show up. It's no way Terry Silver does not show up in the last 10 episodes, being that he was one of the main players in Karate Kid 3. Where's Terry Silver? Who does Tori align with? Does she stay with Kreese and win? Or does she go back to Miyagi Dojo? Does Devin tell the truth that she spiked Kenny's drink in order to get that spot to fight in the Sakai tournament? Do we find that out? Just so many open areas out here. 10 more episodes to go. Can't wait for it to come out. Great season right here. A lot of people loving it. A lot of people saying it wasn't what they thought it was going to be. But I told everybody, the first 5 episodes had to set up now that we got balance. And that was the key thing about this whole season that Daniel kept saying. Balance. We saw that Daniel couldn't control balance, and he had to find a way to get it back. He couldn't control the way Johnny taught the students versus the way Mr. Miyagi taught him. We found out that there was no balance with Daniel, with him and Mr. Miyagi. He thought Mr. Miyagi told him everything about his life. Didn't know that Mr. Miyagi had this secret life. Balance. Johnny showed there was balance because he showed you can put Cobra Kai, Eagle Fang, and Miyagi Dojo and put it all together. Johnny even took Mr. Miyagi's logo and said, we're going to call it Miyagi Dojo. We'll put an eagle that represents Eagle Fang. Johnny showed more balance. Kreese even showed balance when he found out 2 things. Johnny Lawrence was his biggest enemy because Johnny Lawrence was his weakness. He found out how Terry Silver told John Kreese at the end of season 4, you're my weakness. I'm getting rid of my weakness. That's what Kreese had to do in this season. Get rid of Johnny Lawrence mentally out of his mind. So great season, great storytelling. Can't wait for the next season to drop. Get in the comment box. Tell me what you thought about Cobra Kai. And as always, strike first, strike hard, and whatever you do, show no mercy. This is Shawn on the Instincts podcast. And get in the comment box. Let's talk about Cobra Kai. And I will see you next week as we talk about Big Brother. Some more powers got given out on Big Brother on Thursday night. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Sunday Big Brother and get you ready for Big Brother next week. This is Shawn. I'm signing off.